The galactic archive stretched endlessly across the artificial world of HFY 9, a massive data vault containing the knowledge of every known civilization. In its deepest, most restricted chambers, a lone scientist, Varric 17, worked tirelessly, his multi-jointed fingers gliding over glowing holographic displays. He was desperate. The war against the Xelvar Dominion was nearing its breaking point, and the Federation was losing. No technology, no strategy, no diplomatic effort had been enough to stop the ruthless conquerors. He had spent months sifting through forgotten records, hoping to uncover anything that could turn the tide. That was when he found it. A sealed file, buried under layers of security, marked as irrelevant centuries ago. Its title sent a chill through his metallic veins. Earth, the apex of nature. Curious and desperate, Varric 17 bypassed the security layers with careful precision. The file opened, revealing a flood of ancient reports, holograms, and video logs. What he saw made his artificial eyes widen. The footage displayed creatures unlike anything in the galaxy. A pack of wolves, moving in perfect coordination, bringing down prey many times their size. A golden eagle diving at impossible speed, snatching its target with razor-sharp talons. A school of piranhas reducing flesh to bone in mere seconds. Each entry detailed species from a forgotten world Earth, a planet once considered insignificant, now completely erased from official records. The deeper he read, the more unsettling the information became. The Galactic Council had once debated using Earth's creatures as biological weapons, but before any action could be taken, Earth mysteriously vanished from all navigational charts. No further records existed beyond that point, as if the planet had simply been erased from reality. Varric 17's hands trembled as he scanned through the reports, his mind racing with possibilities. Had Earth been destroyed? Or had someone deliberately hidden it? And more importantly, why? He leaned forward, activating an ancient audio log embedded within the file. A grainy voice, distorted with age, spoke through the static. Earth's life forms, they are unlike anything we have encountered. They do not simply survive, they dominate. Their creatures do not rely on technology, yet they wage war with nature itself. If they are ever unleashed, the balance of power in this galaxy will change forever. Earth must remain undiscovered. The message cut off abruptly, leaving only silence. Varric 17 felt a shiver in his circuits. If these creatures were truly as deadly as the report suggested, then they could be the answer the Federation needed. But one question lingered in his mind. If Earth's animals were the ultimate weapons, why had the Council abandoned the idea of using them? Something wasn't right. His fingers moved swiftly, extracting the coordinates buried within the ancient data. It was risky. If Earth had been hidden for a reason, uncovering it could bring unforeseen consequences. But the war left no room for hesitation. If these creatures still existed, they could change everything. Taking a deep breath, Varric 17 initiated a secure transmission to the Federation High Command. I have found something. Something that could turn the war in our favor. I need clearance for an immediate expedition. We need to find Earth. The message was sent. Now, all he could do was wait. But deep in the shadows of the archive, the system stirred. Somewhere, something had noticed the file being accessed. And far beyond the Federation's reach, unseen eyes turned toward the forgotten world. The hunt for Earth had begun. Varric 17 stood in the command center of the exploration vessel Helios 5, staring at the holographic star map that displayed a set of ancient coordinates. The air inside the ship was tense. The Federation had approved his mission, but only a small team had been sent: scientists, explorers, and a handful of elite soldiers. No one knew what to expect. Earth had been erased from records for a reason, and no one had visited it in centuries. Was it truly gone, or had someone hidden it? The ship's engines roared as they neared their destination, passing through uncharted space that had been untouched for millennia. Every second brought them closer to a world that should not exist. But as the ship's scanners reached out to confirm the planet's presence, they found nothing. According to all available data, there was only empty space. Frustration grew among the crew. But Varric 17 was not ready to give up. He rechecked the calculations, analyzing the gravitational anomalies in the area. Something was there, something that the ship's systems could not detect. Adjusting the sensors, he focused on energy distortions instead of physical matter. That was when the readings changed. A massive cloaking field, one that defied even the Federation's most advanced technology, had concealed an entire planet. Earth was still there. But who had hidden it? And more importantly, would they allow outsiders to enter? Varric 17 made his decision. The only way to break through was to force an entry. He activated the ship's energy pulse emitter, sending a powerful wave through space. The effect was immediate. The cloaking field shimmered, then collapsed, revealing a planet unlike anything they had ever seen. It was Earth, but it was not the Earth of ancient records. It was something far more advanced. The ship's descent was rough as powerful atmospheric defenses activated, mistaking them for intruders. Automated drones shot through the skies, scanning and assessing the ship's threat level. The pilots struggled to maintain control, barely avoiding a collision with what looked like enormous avian creatures flying in perfect formations. As they neared the surface, the crew gasped in disbelief. Towering cities of glass and steel blended seamlessly with lush green forests. Oceans stretched endlessly, untouched by pollution, yet massive aquatic creatures swam beneath the waves with unnatural precision. The planet was not just alive, it was thriving. And at its center, watching their every move, were the true rulers of this world. The humans of Earth had not vanished. They had evolved. But more surprising than their technological advancements was their connection to the planet's creatures. Wolves moved in synchronized formations, responding to unseen commands. Eagles, larger than ever recorded, soared above, their eyes glowing with cybernetic enhancements. Even the smallest insects carried intelligence, communicating through unseen signals. This was not just a civilization, it was an alliance between mankind and nature, perfected over centuries. The landing ramp of Helios 5 lowered cautiously as Varric 17 stepped forward, his artificial limbs tense. Before him stood a group of Earth's inhabitants, their expressions unreadable. One of them, a tall figure clad in dark armor infused with living vines, took a step forward. "You should not have come," the human said, his voice calm but firm. "Earth does not welcome outsiders." Varric 17 knew he had to choose his words carefully. "We are not here to invade. We seek knowledge. We seek your creatures." The human's eyes darkened. "You think you can control nature?" He gestured toward the wild yet disciplined animals around them. "Our beasts are not weapons for your war. They fight only for Earth." Before Varric 17 could respond, alarms blared through the ship. A transmission came through an urgent warning. Unidentified warships detected. Approaching fast. A cold realization settled over him. The Xelvar Dominion had followed them. The secret of Earth was no longer safe. The hunt had begun, but not in the way he had expected. Earth's greatest battle was about to begin. The skies above Earth darkened as the warning alarms echoed through the Federation ship Helios 5. On the horizon, metallic shadows streaked through the clouds, Xelvar warships, their jagged hulls gleaming under the planet's twin moons. Varric 17's processors ran cold. He'd feared this moment. The Federation's secret transmission must have been intercepted. Now, the enemy had arrived, and they would not leave without destruction. The Earthborn leader, the man with dark armor entwined with living vines, clenched his fists as he watched the incoming fleet. "You have doomed yourselves," he said, his voice calm but filled with restrained fury. "The Xelvar do not leave survivors." Varric 17 stepped forward, desperation clear in his mechanical tone. "We can fight them together. Your creatures, your knowledge, we can defeat them." But the Earthborn leader simply stared at the sky, his expression unreadable. Then he spoke a single command in a language unknown to Varric 17. The response was instant. The very land beneath them seemed to stir, and the air grew heavy with unseen power. In the distance, the forests shifted as massive shapes moved through the trees, wolves the size of horses, their fur bristling with unseen energy. Flocks of birds took to the skies, their wings reflecting unnatural light. The oceans trembled as enormous creatures, some thought to be extinct, rose from the depths, their glowing eyes fixed on the invaders above. The people of Earth did not panic. They did not rush for weapons or hide in fear. They simply stood in silent unity, watching as their world prepared to defend itself. The Xelvar, arrogant and overconfident, did not hesitate. Their ships broke formation, descending like falling blades. Plasma cannons charged, their fiery glow illuminating the dark sky. Varrock 17 knew what was coming: orbital bombardment, a method the Xelvar used to wipe civilizations off the map before their ground forces even landed. But something strange happened. As the first energy blasts rained down, they never reached the ground. A swarm of winged creatures, faster than any recorded species, intercepted the attack, absorbing the plasma with their reinforced bodies before diving into the warships like living missiles. The Xelvar hesitated, confused. No species in the galaxy had ever been able to resist their bombardments. And then, the real battle began. The Earthborn warriors raised their hands, and the land itself responded. Wolves leapt through the trees, tearing apart armored drones before they could even react. Birds swarmed into ship engines, clogging vents and disrupting systems with pinpoint precision. In the oceans, titanic beasts wrapped themselves around enemy vessels, dragging them beneath the waves where pressure would crush them within seconds. The Xelvar had come expecting to fight a civilization weakened by time. Instead, they had awakened something ancient and unbreakable. Varrock 17 watched in awe, his logic circuits struggling to comprehend what he was seeing. This was not war in the way the galaxy understood it. There were no mechanical war machines, no fleets of steel and fire. Earth's defense was not built on technology, but on an alliance between humanity and nature so complete that they moved as one. The Xelvar, unable to understand their enemy, began to fall back. Their ships turned, retreating toward space, but Earth was not finished. The great beasts did not let them escape. In the sky, a storm of creatures chased after the fleeing ships, tearing through hulls and severing escape routes. Below, the land grew quiet once more, as if the battle had never happened. The Earthborn leader turned to Varrock 17, his gaze cold. "You brought them here," he said simply. "And now, you must leave." Varrock 17 felt something close to regret in his artificial core. He had sought Earth's creatures as weapons, believing they could turn the tide of war. But now, he understood. They were not weapons. They were guardians. Earth had never needed saving. It had only needed to remain hidden. As Helios 5 ascended into space, leaving behind the planet that had changed everything, Varrock 17 sent one final encrypted message to the Federation. Earth is not to be disturbed. We must never return. Then, with a final glance at the disappearing blue-green world below, he erased all records of the mission, ensuring that Earth's greatest secret would never be uncovered again. The void of space trembled as the Xelvar Dominion's warships emerged from hyperspace, their jagged hulls casting ominous shadows over Earth. Hundreds of battleships, each armed with weapons capable of reducing planets to dust, spread into formation. Their arrival was silent, yet their presence was a declaration of destruction. Deep within their command vessel, Supreme Warlord Xeros watched the planet below with cold amusement. "So this is the hidden world," he mused, his sharp talons tapping against the metal throne. "Let us see if it can withstand the fury of the Xelvar." His fleet had tracked the Federation ship Helios 5, following its trail through the collapsing cloaking field. The planet that had remained a myth for centuries now lay exposed, vulnerable to conquest. He gave a simple command: begin the assault. The first wave of attacks was merciless. Plasma cannons fired, raining destruction upon Earth's surface. The Xelvar expected panic, cities crumbling, and desperate screams. But as the energy blasts struck, something unexpected happened. The very land reacted. Towering trees absorbed the impact, their bark turning to an unbreakable barrier. Oceans swirled with sudden storms, swallowing the energy before it could do harm. Even the air thickened with an unseen force, bending the deadly fire away from its intended targets. Xeros frowned. This was no ordinary world. He ordered the dropships to descend, sending thousands of armored warriors to secure the ground. As soon as the Xelvar troops landed, the earth beneath them shifted. The forests came alive, roots and vines lashing out, crushing soldiers and dragging them into the shadows. From the depths of the jungles, monstrous beasts emerged, wolves the size of war mounts, their eyes glowing with a primal intelligence. Eagles with razor-sharp wings cut through the sky, striking with terrifying precision. The Xelvar had invaded countless planets before, but never had they faced an enemy like this. The beasts did not fight alone. Human warriors moved among them, clad in armor that pulsed with the energy of the earth itself. They struck fast and without mercy. Their weapons formed from nature itself, blades of hardened bone, arrows that glowed with fire, and spears infused with lightning. The Xelvar forces struggled to regroup, but the planet did not give them time. The rivers turned against them, swallowing entire squads in sudden floods. The ground split apart, opening chasms that swallowed their war machines whole. Xeros clenched his fists, watching in disbelief as his mighty forces were reduced to chaos. "This planet is cursed," one of his commanders growled. "No, it is alive," Xeros corrected, his voice low with realization. "And it will not let us take it." Desperate to turn the tide, the Xelvar deployed their war beasts, massive, genetically enhanced creatures bred for planetary domination. Towering insectoid monstrosities, armored reptilian titans, and venomous swarms poured onto the battlefield. They had crushed civilizations before, but against Earth's guardians, they were nothing. The wolves hunted them in coordinated packs, tearing through their defenses with unnatural precision. The sky-darkening swarms were met by fire-breathing falcons that reduced them to ash. Even the Xelvar's monstrous titans were no match for the true rulers of Earth, the ancient creatures that had remained hidden for millennia. From the depths of the ocean, an immense shadow rose, a creature of legends, its roar shaking the battlefield. With a single strike, it shattered the Xelvar war beasts, proving that Earth had always been the true apex of nature. Realizing the battle was lost, Xeros made a final, desperate decision. "Orbital annihilation," he ordered. "If we cannot conquer it, we will destroy it." The remaining Xelvar ships positioned themselves, charging their most devastating weapons. The sky burned red as the planet-killing beams fired. But Earth was ready. A storm unlike any seen in the galaxy erupted in the sky, intercepting the blasts before they could reach the surface. Lightning tore through the Xelvar fleet, their ships exploding one by one. The invaders had never known fear until now. For the first time in their history, the Xelvar Dominion retreated. The last of their ships vanished into hyperspace. The battle was over. The Earthborn warriors stood victorious, their beasts still watching the skies. The world that had once been forgotten had now proven its strength. But as the leader of the Earthborn gazed at the retreating fleet, his expression remained serious. "They will return," he said, voice calm yet certain, "and next time, they will not underestimate us." The war for Earth was only beginning. The remnants of the Xelvar fleet drifted in the darkness of space, their once mighty warships now broken and lifeless. The invasion of Earth had ended in failure, but the war was not over. Supreme Warlord Xeros sat in the command chamber of his last stronghold, staring at the holographic display of his shattered armada. His empire had never faced such humiliation before. The Dominion had conquered thousands of worlds, had burned entire civilizations to ash, yet here they were defeated by a single planet that should have been an easy target. His claws dug into the metal throne as his mind raced. He had underestimated Earth. Its creatures, its warriors, and the very planet itself had fought back in ways that defied logic. But he was not finished. The Xelvar Dominion would not fade into history. He would make sure of that. A new strategy was needed. If brute force had failed, then he would break Earth from within. His spies had already begun spreading across the galaxy, whispering lies into the ears of the Federation. They would paint Earth as a growing threat, an unpredictable force that could not be allowed to exist unchecked. Fear was a weapon just as powerful as any fleet, and soon the Federation would turn against its own forgotten world. But Earth was not blind to his schemes. The Earthborn, those strange warriors who had fought alongside beasts and commanded the elements, had already begun their counterstrike. They did not wait for the enemy to return. The first signs of Earth's wrath came in the form of silence. Xelvar outposts, once bustling with activity, suddenly lost contact. Patrol ships vanished without a trace. Supply routes were disrupted by unseen forces. It was as if the shadows themselves had turned against the Dominion. And then the true attack began. Earth's warriors did not fight like any army the Xelvar had faced before. They struck from nowhere, appearing in the heart of enemy bases with beasts that should not have been able to survive the vacuum of space. Wolves, faster than Xelvar sentries could track, tore through heavily armed soldiers before they could react. Winged creatures moved through the corridors of Dominion. The Xelvar were used to being the hunters, but now they were the hunted. Warlord X-Zeros watched in horror as reports came in entire fleets ambushed, fortresses destroyed, entire planets lost without warning. His forces tried to counter the attacks, setting traps and increasing patrols, but nothing worked. Earth's warriors were not bound by the same rules of war. They did not fight for conquest or for power. They fought for survival, and that made them unstoppable. Desperation led Xeros to his final gamble. He gathered what remained of his fleet and retreated to the Xelvar homeworld, a planet that had never been touched by war. He would make his last stand there. If the Earthborn wanted to end the Dominion, they would have to face him in the heart of his empire. He prepared his defenses, lining the skies with every last warship, filling the surface with legions of soldiers and war machines. He would not go down without a fight. But when the attack came, it was not what he expected. There was no grand fleet, no massive invasion force. Instead, the skies darkened as an unnatural storm formed above the planet. The winds howled with an eerie force, and the ground itself trembled. And then they came. Earth's warriors descended like shadows, moving faster than the eye could follow. The Xelvar fired their weapons, but the attacks did nothing. The very air around them bent, redirecting the energy back at the attackers. From the forests and mountains, creatures emerged, beasts that should not have been possible, larger and stronger than anything the Xelvar had ever seen. They tore through the defenses like they were nothing. The planet itself rejected its rulers, as if Earth's presence had awakened something long dormant. Zeros watched in disbelief as his empire crumbled before his eyes. His soldiers fell, his war machines were destroyed, and his once invincible fleet was reduced to wreckage. He had never known fear until now. The final battle ended. Xeros stood alone in the ruins of his palace, his claws shaking. The Earthborn leader approached, his expression unreadable. "Your dominion is over," he said simply. Xeros let out a bitter laugh, his voice hollow. "You think you have won?" he growled. "Others will come. The galaxy will not allow your kind to exist." The Earthborn warrior did not respond. He simply turned and walked away. Behind him, the great beasts of Earth howled into the night, their voices echoing through the broken remains of the Xelvar Empire. The war was over. The Xelvar had fallen, and Earth had claimed its place as a force the galaxy would never forget.